Land and YouTube Land. This is Samurai from the Tester Season 2. I'm here to review to you my official opinion on the Ashes of Ariandel DLC Uncut. This means this will cover every single thing from do I think this DLC is worth picking up? How do I enjoy it? My opinions on like the bosses and stuff and the whole areas in general. So yeah, with that being said, let's begin. Okay, for those who do manage to actually buy the DLC, I think it's like $15.99. I'm not sure because I only bought one pack rather than the season pass. Okay, when you do install the DLC, to activate it, you have to go to the cleansing chapel. From there, you'll actually, speak to an NPC. You talk to him, then he'll take you to the area. Now, here's the thing with me. Do I think this DLC is worth picking up? To be honest, I kind of felt a bit underwhelmed, but I'll go into why I felt it was underwhelming to begin with in the beginning. For the fact that it's $15, like Bloodborne's DLC, even though that was a tiny bit more expensive, you got four bosses, you got multiple areas to go to, but with the Ashes of Ariandel DLC, you get about like, let me think, three areas to go to. When I say three, I'm talking about like the beginning field. You got your Ariandel Chapel, and then you got your Corvian settlement. Okay, yeah. See, from there, it's not really that much to explore beyond that. I mean, if you take your time, it'll extend about to like about 15 hours or so. But for me, when I first went through the area, I was able to navigate my way around pretty much. I mean, the only thing that I had to do was to get the items and stuff. So that's like every little special item and to get like the shields and stuff. Now here's what I feel about the whole DLC, to be honest. For the amount of money that you plop down for this $15, and the next DLC is going to be $15 as well. I felt that the Souls like group, the A team, I felt they could have added more of the cut content in the game. It's like, I mean, do I feel happy about it that I played it? Hell yeah, I feel happy about it. But at the same time, a part of me deep down inside felt like there was a lot of stuff that was still missing from here, which I could only hope that they will jam pack it into the next DLC. Because if it's not, then there's going to be just content out the wazoo that we still didn't get. Like for example, the Boreal Valley mask, the Firekeeper mask, and then like I've seen like a couple of other cut armors on Sanadis K's channel. He's like one of the few Dark Souls like YouTubers I actually frequent all the time, and like he showed me like a plethora of armors and uncut content. So it's like, I mean, well, cut content, my bad. Yeah, so we didn't get that in this DLC. We only got like, I think, the Millwood set, the Follower set, the Slave Knight set, and the Ordained set. Excuse my French, but where the fuck is all the other armors? But yeah, okay, let's go on to like the areas. The first open field area is like an open field where if you step on certain parts, it'll trigger a snow avalanche, which will fall down. And then you got your wolves, your trees, you got the followers and shit. And then you got like the tree monsters who actually throw the little fireballs at you. So going through all of that, I'm like, I think that's pretty good. But the monster that creeped me out the most, which I'm pretty sure is a Berserk reference, so don't get me wrong, is those fly human things. I swear, I've never been truly a fan of insects, but man, those things are so disgusting. And there's like a certain area in the DLC which is filled with nothing but them. So I'm like, geez, way to trigger the fuck out of somebody. But yeah, okay, let's talk about the areas in the DLC, to be honest. The Snowfield, which I just went over. Then you got Ariandel Chapel, which is like this like small area at first. But, when you do the rest of the DLC, it'll open up to be a bigger area. Then you got your final boss fight in this area here. And then you got the Corvian Settlement. The Corvian Settlement is like a Dark Souls 3 version to me of the last area in Bloodborne, the Fisherman's Village, except it is not like that much like, monsters to worry about. I mean, you still got your little Corvians here and there, and you got the little Ringu centipede woman monster. Like, it's only like two of them in there. So you get past them, you ain't got shit to worry about. And then, the main characters that I did like that they put in there was the Corvian Knights. These guys, like my friend Mikey Angelo told me, they had these really badass armor. And I was kind of, like, upset that we weren't able to get that armor in the DLC. But, eventually they'll probably, like, put it into, like, a future update or something. Okay, now, let's talk about, let's talk about the bosses in the DLC. There's the optional boss, the Champion's Gravetender, and then the Champion's Great Wolf. The Champion's Gravetender is pretty much NPC with the Valahart sword. He has the Valahart sword and buckler. That weapon is amazing. I like that weapon a lot. And then you kill him halfway. Well, then he'll summon the Big Wolf, which is, it's pretty much the majority of the Souls community has called it a reskinned Sullivan Beast. To be honest, I kind of felt the same way, but I felt for that boss, because I'm New Game +8. He takes way too much damage. Like, I'll publicly admit, Samurai, the guy who's platinum every single Dark Souls game in existence plus Bloodborne, and Dark Souls 2 and Scholar the First Sin, had problems killing that boss. So I kind of had to use the cheese strats to kill him, which is like the pillar in the back. You drag his ass back there, and then he kind of gets like stuck doing his little Psycho Crusher movement back and forth. Yeah, you could kill him and be done with him, and that's how you unlock the PvP area. I didn't do the PvP area yet. I'm actually going to do that at the end of this like mega review. When that's done, I'll actually get to experience that firsthand. Then you got the second boss, which is to me the boss that was worth the whole DLC. Like, for me, paying $15 for this DLC, I would gladly do it again if I could fight another boss like this in the second DLC. This was Sister Friede. Fried, I call her Friede. Sister Friede, which is short for Elfriede. She's basically I think the eldest sister of the Sable Church. And here's the thing, though. Because, like, in the normal game, you deal with Yuria, which is, I think, the youngest. And then it's the middle sister, which is probably going to be in the next DLC coming up. I felt that boss fight was totally worth it, but it was probably the hardest together, to do all together. It took me, like, 11 minutes with, like, 3 people. And, like, at the end, it was, like, 8 minutes of it was spent on the third phase. It's a 3-phase boss fight. You die on any of the phases, you go back to the first phase. And it's in this area. So, yeah, when you do that, you pretty much get, like, you have a choice between her sires, which I have here, and then you have, what's the other thing? The Rosa Ariandel. So, for me, I personally say this DLC was worth it. I mean, will I pay $15 for the second DLC? Yeah, for the most part. And the weapons in the DLC, I say all of them are good. My favorite are the I think it's called the Crow Talons. I'm not sure, because I personally call it the Raptor Claws, but it's probably the Crow Talons I like, the Crow Quills, and the Onyx Blade. The Onyx Blade is so badass, because it has this like black flame that goes across your weapon when you do the weapon art. I love it to death. And Elfriede's size. Those are pretty much the scythe equivalent of the Rakuyo from Bloodborne. So yeah. With this being said, do I recommend you pick this up if you completed the original story? Yes. I recommend it. I felt underwhelmed, but see, here's the thing. I know that the second DLC is probably going to be worth it. If not, then there's going to be a whole bunch of pissed off Souls fans about this. But yeah, if I can give it a 1 through 10, I had to give this DLC on the level it is normally 8 out of 10. For the boss fights, I'll give it a 9.8 out of 10, and for the whole DLC as a whole together, see, I don't want to give it a 10 out of 10 because, see, there's so much more they could have added to it. I'll give it probably about a 9.9 out of 10. I got to take away 1 point because they really did not add as much as they could have added into this DLC. With that being said, this is Samurai, over and out. Later.